Writing the novel is an ambitious endeavor, and it is exhausting because it needs research, writing, and refinement, in addition to being like any creative literary work that needs imagination. Take notes, tips, and advice related to writing the novel that might help the writers of the novel give them a different perspective, and help them provide some of what they need for creative production. These tips for writing the novel may come from countless sources, such as capturing some from several television interviews with novelists or some educational workshops, or from press interviews, or using the stock of personal experience. I hope the following tips will help make the writing task a little easier and at the same time help you to publish your book. 62 Advice and Idea Writing for the Novel for Novelists. The following writing tips focus on creative technical writing. You can take some of these tips, or take them all. You can add your own thoughts. 1. Read many stories then write. 2. Do not close yourself and continue with one type of reading or writing, even if this is the preferred type for you, and limit yourself to this type of reading or writing. Once, try taking a step outside. 3. Anatomy of stories, movies, and series, to know how the dramatic narration is going. How to control the plot. What can be dispensed with and not affect the course of events. What is missing to complete. 4. Do not write for others, that is, do not write for the idea that this is what the public wants or the market demands. Write the story in your heart. 5. You can make a pre-made plan during or after finishing the draft. This gives you a full idea of the events. It doesn't have to be a detailed outline, it's like a storyboard idea but with words. 6. You don't always need an outline. Give yourself a chance to discover while writing. 7. Some of the best imagination comes from real life. Write down the stories that matter to you, whether you heard it from a friend or read it in a newspaper article. 8. Reality and real life are one of the greatest sources of inspiration for the novelist. Look around, your friends, family, co-workers, amplify their strongest personalities as you en route to crafting a group of characters. You can review this post. 9. Give your characters an unforgettable advantage or reality by reviewing the details. Like a paralyzed man in his chair, or a woman who pulled her hair down. This type of character is unforgettable. And don't forget to take care of the physical details and their descriptions. 10. The personality must not be completely perfect, this is a shame. That is, no one is absolutely evil, nor a hero to the end. Try to find something good about your villain character, and something dark in your hero's past. 11. Avoid elaborating your characteristic description, and not striping him completely. Let the reader discover your characters more than the way they do and their reactions. 12. Place in front of your characters obstacles that are difficult to overcome, make them suffer, in this way their victory over these obstacles is more rewarding. 13. Check your understanding of the structure of the novel or story. Each story needs a beginning, middle, and end. 14. When you narrate your narration through a narrator, it is not right that at the beginning of the chapters of the novel be warm and friendly, then more objective and realistic in later chapters. The narrator should have a steady direction. 15. To whom do you focus? Who will create a better story? The first character in the novel, second, or third? If you are not sure, you can write a few pages on each character to find out the best. 16. It is very important to pay attention to speed. Is your story moving very quickly to the readers? Or is it calling for yawning in every paragraph? Are love scenes too short? Are the scenes of the fighting long? Do you go to 3 pages of detail for your character that starts from point to point very slowly, then fly through the work sequence in a few short paragraphs? Take care of the speed. 17. Pump in your story with rich subjects to give it a good human impact. Topics can include sacrifice, redemption, new birth, life and death, faith, piety, and other great shades hovering around your story. 18. Use symbols and images to find continuity throughout your stories, such as the use of the Vendetta mask in the movie V for Vendetta, which symbolized freedom and the desire to change political reality in a way of revenge and coup against the existing system. 19. All the great stories involve a great transformation, the characters change, the world changes, and we hope the reader will change as well. 20. The novel aims to be satisfying and mysterious. The only thing worse than reading a novel is feeling as though you know exactly what is going to happen and it is not fulfilled, or was not achieved at the end. Something like this is not supposed to happen. The reader invests his time in your story, therefore, he deserves an emotional and intellectual reward. 21. Enrich your main narrative with side plots. In life there is a lot of what happens at one time, take advantage of it. 22. There is a difference between going deep into the plot of the novel or the lateral plots, touching the surface, or moving away from the topic. Do not try to remain on the surface or seek to distract yourself. It is a good idea to explore other areas and different parts of your story and the shadows you throw while working on it in the first or second draft, but eventually, you will have to peel the surface to get to the core. 23. If you write about a specific type of story, do not be afraid of blurring the lines. Drama can contain funny moments, and excitement can contain some romance. 24. Don't underestimate your readership, suppose they are smarter than you. 25. Give your readers a chance to think. You do not have the ability to tell your story with its finer details or to write all of the characters' ideas. Save enough points, and trust the reader to enjoy connecting them. 26. Allow readers to use their imagination, give them an option to provide some fabric for your novel, and let them fill the rest of the fabric with their own colors. 27. Do not focus, exclusively, on writing the novel only, and in any way at the expense of drafting the plot in convincing language. 28. Caress the senses of the readers. Use descriptive words that engage the reader's senses of tasting, touching, and tattooing. 29. Applying poetry techniques to bring life to prose writing. Use alliteration, phonemic simulation, metaphor, and other literary tools to make your sentences sing and dance. 30. Some writers say, writing is rewriting. When rewriting, check for non-existence, gaps in plot and events, contradictions and ups and downs of your characters, missing scenes, and strange scenes. Check the accuracy of the information provided, and certainly, grammar, spelling, and punctuation. 31. Whenever you review your novel, ask yourself whether every paragraph, sentence, and word is a key component of your story or not. If not, know where to find the delete button on your keyboard. 32. The more you take into account linguistic scrutiny, grammar, spelling, punctuation, and check that there are a few typos in your final draft, the better. 33. Before your final review and before you send your manuscript to publishers or editors, find initial readers, join writing groups, conduct a workshop on creative writing and fiction, or even hire a professional for an evaluation. 34. Do not send your rough draft, repeat writing at least 3 times before submitting it to the initial readers. Your novel is stronger when you hand it over to editors. The power of these editors is able to realize the power of your novel. 35. Collect these ideas, tips, or other things in your notebook and use them. When there is something in your story that you do not feel comfortable with or feel that something is missing, your notes and other sources and resources may offer a solution. 36. Finding time to write is the biggest and most common problem that writers face, but if you are writing about emotion, then the time will come naturally, and when it comes you will learn to use your full time and give all that you have. 37. The majority of writers who say that they did not have enough time to write, say this in order to avoid other reasons, many of which are related to fear and lack of confidence. 38. Plan your timeline, and plan the chapters for the novel. 39. Don't worry if your draft word has more than 120,000 words, which is a large number, you can shorten it and limit it when rewriting. 40. Learn when to get away from the computer, or from writing paper, breathe some fresh air, get inspiration, return with renewable cells, and unleash your thoughts. 41. The mind of some writers works faster than writing. In this case, the use of an audio recorder may help to capture ideas more quickly and write them at a later time. 42. Do not use real models of the characters of your novel as they are, but rather modify them. 43. Write a curriculum vitae for each of the characters in your novel. If you are unable, you do not know enough about it to start writing. 44. Use the names and nicknames of the characters to hint at the family background, race, age, and social class, or intentionally use them to reflect the reader's expectations. 45. Be brief when describing an event. But do not make it too intuitive to the point of boredom, nor too strange to distract the reader from the story. 46. When you want to talk about a part of a character, do not open the novel with an artistic return or an explanatory passage. First set our feet in the present of the story before we visit its past. 47. For your novel characters who have 2 conflicting emotions or desires, you will succeed if you put both emotions in successive scenes, which is the easiest, or show the 2 emotions in the same scene, which is more difficult. 48. Each character has a goal in the novel, and the writer's mission is to always display mono and progressive goals clearly, so that readers always know what the character wants. 49. One of the basic techniques for writing comic characters is an exaggeration, satire, and upset expectations. 50. Take into consideration the cultural background of your characters, this is to obtain sound dialogue and greater credibility. 51 To obtain a greater influence, do not overuse the colloquial phrases, avoid exaggeration and cliché, and interpret the dialogues, because it undermines the response of readers. 52 You can add more feelings through metaphors. It is important that the words of metaphors used have strong cultural implications and on the topics that suit them. 53 You can quote songs, poems, etc. but beware. It could enrich or diminish your business. 54 In all your emotional scenes, use the full physical reaction. 55 One of the best ways to describe characters is frustration, as it pushes the plot forward. The main means of expressing the character's frustration is not in dialogue or ideas, but in actions that drive the story forward. 56 Every story can be told from a point of view, any of her characters, the pronoun of the speaker, the conscience of the absent, etc., so imagine your narration from different perspectives before adopting one. 57 When describing and interpreting using the speaker's conscience, you should write as the character sees the information, not as you, the author, see it. 58 The power of the speaker's conscience in the narrator's voice, so let the narrator show his personality in what he says and how he says it. 59 Divide the writing into 4 steps, to be the character, to be the writer, to be the reader, and to be the critic. 60 See the novel as the story of the characters, not yours. 61 Use as few conscience characters as possible, because it is less immediate and individual than the speaker's conscience. 62 Enjoy. If you don't listen to write the novel, it probably isn't for you. If you are not listening to creative and fictional writing, try writing something else like poetry, blogs, or scripting. Be open and you will find your way. Did you find previous advice helpful in writing? Do you have tips and ideas to add? Write a comment.